get our acceleration here with this. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Nissan Titan Pro-4X. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray, Utah for providing us with this Titan Pro-4X. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's just get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Titan Pro-4X, we have a naturally aspirated 5.6 liter V8 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 413 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end of the Titan Pro-4X. So first and foremost, I love the look of this new hood. It's really cool with the bulges on either side, makes it look really muscular. And then coming to the lights, I love these full LED lights. They're super bright at night, and the LED accent lights just look super unique in general. And then you've got the fog lights down below with the parking sensors integrated as well. And then you've got the metallic kind of gray front grille here with the Nissan logo that's just like orangish red. And you can see a little camera there on the front. We'll go over that in just a little bit. And then I love the tow hooks. Again, those kind of match the lettering right there with the front logo. And then the skid plate, obviously it gives it that kind of like Raptor off-roader look, which again is just really cool. But yeah, overall, the new front end of this Pro-4X is beautiful. Coming around the side here, we've got two 75mm tires on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. If you're wondering from the suspension standpoint, it's got the Bilstein monotube shocks. So here's a quick look at what we can see of the suspension here in the front. Obviously that's going to help make it a little bit more capable on the off-road. And then I love these fender flares. Again, they're that same like metallic gray that you got on the front end. And then this comes with mud flaps from the factory, which is another nice little option. And then you have like the off-road ready side steps that do say Titan there on the side. But other than that, here is a full side view on the Titan Pro-4X. Now let's go over the bed of the Pro-4X. So you can see that we have a plastic covering here on the tailgate, and then you can see you've got the liner for the rest of the bed, and it's really cool that you have rails already built into the bed, which again, it's just a nice little feature right there. And then you actually do get a full power outlet here in the bed as well, and then you've got more rails here at the top, so it's just pretty much all set up. If you guys are wondering, payload capacity here with the Pro-4X is about 1,500 pounds with this current setup. Now let's go over the rear of the Pro-4X. So first and foremost, you can see that you've got these full LED lights here in the rear. Again, they look really good. And I love how they have the blacked out element there on the side, right next to the Pro-4X sticker. And this actually does come with a kick step, pretty easy to use. So all you have to do is just push it out and then it pops right out. One of the easier kick steps actually pop out. Most kick steps is kind of hard to get them out, but this really easy, and like it's just super light in terms of getting it back in. And then you do have parking sensors here along the bumper. If you're wondering, towing capacity with this setup is about 9,200 pounds from the factory. And then you see you've got all your blacked out Titan badging, the Nissan logo again with the orange there in the center. But yeah, overall, this truck from the back end also looks really good. Now here's a door panel in the rear of the Pro-4X. So you can see again, you've got that kind of like orangish red stitching here on the side of the door. My favorite part of the door panel is just down below. So I love the texture they've done here at the bottom. Even though this is a place you're not really going to see all that often, it still just looks really cool. And then coming to the seats, you can see again, you've got the soft touch here with all of that stitching all throughout, just looks really good. And then nice perforations here in the center of the seats. Yes, you can pick them up. And by the way, I've got the storage tray out so you guys can see what that looks like, all set up here in the Pro-4X. And if you're wondering, in terms of getting it back up, all you have to do is just pull that, push that down, and then you put the seat back on top, and then it's all good to go. And then we've got a couple cup holders here, but let's actually pop in. So stepping in, the running boards make it really easy to get in. If you're wondering, I'm 5'11", and I've got a good amount of headroom. Legroom is also pretty good in the back here as well. You can see there's a couple of cup holders, and then just down below, we've got a couple of vents. You've got your heated seat controls here for the rear. You get a full power outlet, a couple USBs, and a 12 volt as well, and that's everything for the back. Now here's the door panel at the front of the Pro-4X. So again, you've got that nice stitching with the soft touch. We're going to rest your arm, all of your window controls and your mirror adjustment as well. And then just down here in this little area, is that really cool trim at the bottom. Pro-4X plaque. And then coming up here, we can see that again, you've got the soft touch here with all the stitching. You've got your little Pro-4X embroidery on the side, which again, just looks really cool. all of the perforation here in the center, and then your adjustments are just there on the side of the seat. Here's what the pedal layout looks like, and then we do have some controls over here. So you can see right over here, we've got the locker for the rear, and then you've got the power outlets, and then the cargo as well, and then the little hill descent control button. Light controls are just up above, and then here's the adjustment for the steering wheel, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now here's the steering wheel with the Pro 4X. You've got soft touch all around the steering wheel, and then you've got more of that really cool stitching on the center part of it. You can see over here you actually do get adaptive cruise control, the Nissan logo, and I love how they blacked it out just like on the outside. And then over on the other side, you've got the controls for like the radio, your phone controls, pretty normal stuff, nothing too crazy. So overall, pretty normal setup for a steering wheel. And then just behind it, that's the little stock for the turn signal and the windshield wipers. And then this does come with a column shifter, so you can select the gears yourself if you want. And then you've got the tow mode, you just press in the button right there, and pretty straightforward in terms of the use with the column shifter. And here's the gauge cluster on the Pro 4X. I love how they have the red accenting around the gauges with the white. Just think it looks really good in general. But with the rest of it, there's a couple different screens you can kind of scroll through to give you different bits of information on the Titan Pro 4X. Nothing too crazy, pretty much the same setup you see in most modern vehicles. Now here's the center infotainment system. Let's actually pop it in reverse. You guys can see the camera aspect of it. So you've got the backup camera and the bird's eye view. And by the way, the trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see that response time on this new infotainment system is really good. This is something that's like a huge upgrade from the previous infotainment system. And so it's nice to see that they have something that's this nice, that has really good response time, that's also just really easy to use in general. And then they do give you little shortcut buttons just below the infotainment system itself. And other than that, that's everything for the center stack. I've got our climate controls in this little area right here. So you've got the dual zone climate controls, stability control just down below the parking sensors, and then you've got this for the blind spot monitoring, and then your heated steering wheel, stop start button, which is pretty cool because it's in orange, and then the drive line select. So you've got your 2-wheel drive, your 4-wheel high, push in for your 4-wheel low, and then just down here you've got the trailer brake controls, a couple of USBs and a 12-volt, and then the heated and ventilated seat controls are just those little dials right there. So we've got like our whole cup holder area, and by the way, you can pull this out if you want. And then we've got the center console, which is pretty neat. But opening it up, you can see that storage space in here is really good. Most trucks do have massive center consoles. The Titan is no different. And then I love the stitching on top of it as well. And then coming over to the glove box, pretty normal glove box, nothing too crazy. I love how they did soft touch above the glove box, and then they did stitching all along the dash just to make it look a little bit nicer. So up top here, you've got a power sliding window. So all you have to do is just pull the switch, and pretty straightforward, push it in. And then you do have your controls for the sunroof. It is a full panoramic sunroof, which is really nice. Definitely lets a lot of light into the cabin. This is just for the shade, that's for the roof itself. And then we've got a sunglass holder. Oh yeah. Now that we're done going with the interior on the Titan Pro 4X, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Titan Pro 4X with all the equipment it has, stickers for about $61,000. So for like a fully loaded off-road truck, that's right where it should be in the current market. That all being said, let's take it out and see how it drives. Quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in the Titan Pro 4X. So you can see visibility over both of your shoulders is actually really good through the mirrors. You do have blind spot monitoring, and they do have those convex mirrors that help out quite a bit. Here's visibility all throughout the rear, which again is also really solid. And that all being said, let's set off. So we are setting off in the Titan Pro 4X, and I'm really excited to drive this truck. I've been waiting a long time to finally be able to drive the new Pro 4X. You guys know I'm all about these off-road packages. Obviously I have a Raptor, and well, the rest is history. But first and foremost, from a ride quality perspective, I just drove a Platinum Reserve right before this, and I wanted to drive that truck first so then I could get into this one and see if this feels any different, because it does have those shocks. And on road, I can't really perceive a difference between the two trucks. This feels about the same as the Platinum Reserve, and coming up to this, we'll kind of see how it handles around this corner as well to see if it feels any different from a handling perspective. Now taking a turn here, feels about the same as the Platinum Reserve. I'm not really noticing a significant difference between the two trucks with the handling or anything. And there is like another corner up here that's a little bit higher speed, so it'll kind of tell us. But this road here is actually perfect because it's actually pretty rough. And so we should be able to feel if these shocks come into play a bit, especially over these train tracks that are coming up. This is my testing for off-road trucks, guys. It's going over train tracks because obviously I can't take a brand new off-road truck off-roading. Yeah, it definitely handles it a lot better than the Platinum. I can feel a difference with the shocks going over those tracks. There's definitely a difference between the two trucks with that. And we'll go over this little one too. Yep. Yeah, there is a difference. So I can actually feel these shocks. Now, in terms of this compared to other off-road trucks from a shock perspective, I would rate it at average. So like if you're comparing this to like a Ram Rebel or a Chevy Trail Boss, they're all going to feel pretty similar in terms of what you're getting out of the shocks. So this is kind of that area where you can see what the handling is like with the truck again, just to kind of see if there's any difference with this. Yeah, again, with the handling, I can't really feel a difference. The biggest difference that I felt was going over the bumps and just the truck being a little bit nicer over those. But yeah, from the handling perspective, I cannot perceive a difference. And man, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to be able to review a vehicle and I'm not going to run into like a massive amount of traffic. And I'm going to be able to like get my review done in like one take with the driving portion, just because I won't run into so much traffic. But let's get our acceleration here with this. Yeah, I love this 5.6 V8. It just feels so nice. It's got such good torque. The power is there as well. It's just a really, really strong engine in general. And again, I need to mention this in more of my reviews, but I'm at 4,500 feet elevation. So obviously you are going to feel the effects of elevation on naturally aspirated engines more so than like turbocharged engines. But this still feels very strong up here. I mean, compared to like, you've got Ram's Hemi V8, you've got Chevy's 5.3 V8, you've got Ford's EcoBoost, this feels like it feels great. And like compared to the Tundra's 5.7 V8, this definitely feels stronger than the Tundra's engine. I can tell you that right now, especially from the torque that I can feel, feels substantially stronger than what the Tundra has. And that'll actually get me into summing things up with this Pro-4X. I think this is a really solid off-road package. And so if you're looking for like an entry-level off-road package, you don't want to spend, you know, Ram TRX or Ford Raptor money, then the Titan Pro-4X is definitely a good one to go for. And you still get a pretty good solid towing capacity out of it. You also get a good payload capacity, so you can still use it, unlike some of these other trucks where they have the off-road package and then they lose their payload at Raptor. But yeah, other than that, I love this new Pro-4X, and I'm sad that I didn't review it last year. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Nissan Titan Pro-4X. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray, Utah for providing us with this Pro-4X. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.